and welcome to another bisextile episode of We Only Look Thin. My name is Katherine Weigel.
This is a family show.
One of your hosts. I am a Tiny Habit certified coach, a Thrive Global certified coach. I have lost over 120 pounds and kept it off for over 6 years. And with me today is
Donald Weigel, and I am also one of the hosts of this show. It is called We Only Look Thin. I think we said that. I have lost about 100 pounds. I have been, I've kept it off for about 6 years. And we are here to talk about it.
We sure are. We sure are.
Hey, before we get into the definition of that word you said at the beginning of the show, which I'm afraid to say personally because I don't want to be accused of anything, do you know how many steps there are? How many steps there are? Do you know?
Okay, we're starting over again.
Yeah.
Don said he had a joke to tell me.
Don't say it's a joke. Don't say it's a joke.
I'm trying to set you up. Do you want to? Okay.
Do you know
I don't know what the joke is.
how many minutes there are in a year?
No.
You might be tempted to say that there are 525,600 minutes. You might think that that's right.
Okay.
And you might be
that's
right.
That's from Rent. Okay.
3 out of every 4. Yeah, that's from Rent, a musical that I've never seen.
Okay.
But I've heard that song.
But I like your earnest, like country retake of it. Like that's like the reprise.
No, I practiced it.
Okay.
I practiced it a lot. You might be surprised by this, but I'm
from
not.
Like Rent on the Range.
I'm not a professional singer.
Come on, Rent on the Range.
Rent on the Range. Yeah.
Okay.
The country reimagining of it. Actually, this year,
yes,
there are 527,040 minutes.
In
the year. So you like 527,040 minutes.
Wow,
yeah,
they could actually do another version of Rent.
Yeah,
that actually has that Rent on the Range.
Yeah, because this year there are an extra 1,440 minutes in the year because it is leap year this year,
or bisextile year. Yay!
Bisextile?
Yeah, bisextile
means that it's a leap year?
Yeah.
Wow.
It also is...
that is not what I was thinking it meant.
Hopefully... Well, and that's the thing. It's fun to say words that aren't dirty.
Yeah.
Not that anything is dirty.
Yeah, when our daughter was little, we just brought this up. Like, she actually was like, I don't want to know what a sex tent is.
Yeah, I was like, oh,
she thought it was something dirty.
No, I'll find out at some point. So actually the anniversary of that just came up. But yeah, it is a bisextile year. It is fun to throw out words that sound racy. It's not a bad word. But it's also an intercalary. I don't know how to pronounce that. Intercalary.
Oh, intercalary year.
Yeah, I don't know.
Interesting.
It's Wikipedia,
I don't know that word
so maybe
either.
somebody else made it up. But basically, that is just a fancy way of saying it is a leap year.
A leap year. Leap day is February 29th.
It is, and it's happening this year, and that means we have one extra day of making choices.
Yes, we do.
In the world. But before we get started on all that...
Wait, we haven't started?
No, we haven't started yet.
Oh, wow.
But in just researching it, this is how we started out. In researching leap year, did you know that... Okay, so it has 366 days.
There's
this
366 days this year, yeah.
Did you know that that 365 on the civil calendar?
Whoa.
It's a civil calendar.
Wow.
Like, which sounds like kind of fancy, but it's like that's just a common year. Like, doesn't that sound like kind of classist to call it like
common
year. A common year?
Yeah, it really does.
But they went on to read. It is actually
sounds
kind
like those elitist leap folk.
Well, but like
came up with that.
Okay,
term.
I know we talk about the Gregorian calendar or whatever, but like on the Julian calendar, that's where the common year, the 365. But it turns out, and this is, I felt like it was kind of throwing shade at the Julian calendar because like the Julian calendar tried its best as long as it could, but then there was a little comment, a little like aside.
It really tried hard.
It tried hard. No, but like the Gregorian thing was like, well, there was a problem with the Julian algorithm, so we added an extra day every 4 years. But like, doesn't that sound like they did their very best, but that's like going and like attacking.
They did their best with what they had.
It's like trying to do a 5th grade like Cat on a Hot Tin Roof Junior as a play, right?
Oh my god, that's horrifying.
It's horrifying.
That's the worst thing I can imagine.
But they do like, the Seussical the musical, like all the like junior things. I feel like they're like throwing shade because they didn't know better. Like you do your best with what you have until you know better, and then you do better, but then you don't like diss yourself for not knowing better from before. Isn't that like?
Yeah,
it just seems mean for the Julians.
It really does, and I think that when we are looking at calendars and talking about calendars, that many people are surprised by various things that come up on the calendar, and one of those things seems to be The Weeknd. Like, not the singer The Weeknd.
Oh, okay.
But, like, the actual Weeknd.
Oh, wait, are you getting earnest? Because I had more stuff to say.
Oh, I was starting to, like, get into, actually giving people helpful advice.
I was going to get...
I thought you were done. I thought you were done with your
no.
shtick.
We're circling the parking lot. We're still trying to find a better space.
We're at the base of the mountain. We haven't started to climb yet.
No, okay. So, sorry. Like, we try to surprise one another. I just thought you had more to say.
You were giving me a look like you wanted me to like get into it. So.
No, but like the surprising
apparently
part.
my mind reading skills are off today.
So I was trying to like lead into that kind of like classist situation with a Julian calendar and then the Gregorians kind of being jerky about it. Like you can have your own calendar, but you don't have to be a jerk about it.
Right.
Okay, but I looked up because I wanted fun facts about Leap Day, which is February 29th. I don't know why.
Wait, say that again. February. You've been drinking again, clearly.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Actually, I don't know what day of the week.
Wednesday?
I don't know what day of the week Leap Day is on this year.
I'm not sure either. I could try and look it up real quick.
You could look it up. I won't act distracted if you look it up while I'm saying
I'll try and look it up real quick.
Okay, so I was trying to find if any like famous people were born on Leap Day, because that's an interesting thing, right? So I Googled it on the Googles, and Town and Country magazine, which sounds like that maybe they wouldn't care about. Like, you don't think about that. You think about like your town things and then your country things, but not necessarily. It just seems kind of fancy for them.
Yeah.
But they had some interesting birthdays.
Really?
Yes. So let's see, Dinah Shore.
Oh.
Which actually, it just occurred to me that her name sounds like dinosaur.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Oh, wow. I never thought of that either.
I know,
like,
I didn't know.
I was today years old when I thought of that.
Yeah. Tony Robbins, which like he's a lot, but what are you going to do?
On Leap Day.
Yeah.
Actual the 29th, which is a Thursday. I don't know how to pronounce
Thursday?
it. It's a Thursday
it's just
this
Thursday.
year.
It's fine. Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez of Spain.
Oh.
It seems like the current one. And then Pope Paul III from 1468.
Really?
That guy like got it done a long time ago.
No, that was was the Gregorian calendar even around?
I don't know. I think
yes,
it was. Durr. Oh, you.
I'm just being.
Oh, you.
Yeah.
But then this one, this was my favorite. And if you don't know this, like knowing what you know about yourself,
should I not take a sip of coffee before you tell me this? Am I gonna like
no.
so surprised I spit it out? Okay.
I'll just say who it is. And this is what Town and Country says.
Yeah.
Okay, they have on their list Superman.
What?
Did you know that Superman's birthday?
How did I not know that? Is Leap Day?
Is on Leap Day.
Like the character or like the comic debuted on
No,
Leap
like
Day?
his birthday is supposed to be then. But then Town and Country, just because they want to make sure that you know.
Town and Country's talking about Superman's birthday.
Yes. Okay, but
that
here
is that is surprising.
But here is what they wrote.
Yeah.
Superman, while not a real person, is actually it was like Maury Povich. While not a real person, is said to have been born. But I was actually very surprised. This was a fun fact I wanted to share with you.
Yeah, I know. Me being a what you might call giant nerd,
did not
know that.
Yeah,
which is that's really interesting.
Yeah. See, so
Now I'm questioning everything I've ever learned.
Are you glad
about
to know?
nerd stuff? I am glad. I need to do more research on like when that was established,
and
like,
that makes you a questioner
this
because
is the kind of person that I am.
That's
I need to
as
go.
much research as I want to do.
Go figure this out.
So that was surprising, and I feel like you were about to be surprised by weekends.
I was talking about how people get surprised. It seems like even though there is a weekend every week, like we run into people all the time who seem surprised that it's coming in terms of their health and fitness, weight loss, joint venture situations. And they'd be like, I'm working so hard. But what it turns out is that they are sticking to a calorie goal like Monday through Friday, and then like just binging on weekends.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, there's that binary, like, oh, the work week is for the work, and then the weekend is my time.
And you know how everyone loves math?
Oh, yeah.
Like, it's like everyone's favorite thing?
Yeah.
Like, here's some math for you.
Okay.
Did you know that one day of the week is already 14.25% of your week? So, in other words, if you eat on your plan 5 days and then you just binge on 2 days, you are already indulging on 28.5% of your week, which brings your grade, your letter grade, if you're in, at least how we do it in America, USA, that brings you down to a C- grade.
It does.
For the week.
But the thing is, well, like the good part is though, Donald, like we're just saying it, like, but that was just 1 week. So like if like 1 week is just Saturday and Sunday I don't do well, that's fine. Like I've got next week, so it'll be fine, right?
Yeah, but here's the other thing though.
Oh,
before we do that, like people then Friday, Saturday, Sunday, some people start their indulging, like their weekend starts on a Friday. That's 42.8% of your week, and that brings your grade down to an F.
But that's only 1 week. I have next week that I can make it up.
Yeah. The problem is that like next week, there's like another weekend comes.
That is surprising.
And then on top of that, like, and here's some more math just before we get into what I was about to say.
I have more math.
You have more math?
I have math, but you can share your math.
So if you eat 1,800 calories a day, Monday through Thursday, and then 3,500 calories, which 3,500 is a lot, but that's not like...
It's not what we would have eaten.
I've eaten a lot more than that on a lot of days. On Friday through Sunday, that averages out to 2,500 calories a day.
That is surprising.
And you feel like you're doing all this work Monday through Thursday, and you're like being so good, in air quotes, and like, why can't I lose weight? And you're not thinking about the fact that you are then indulging on 42.8% of your week and bringing that average up that high. It is very hard for most people to lose any weight on 2,500 calories a day.
That is true. Man, we went from like fun time Superman chat to suddenly you're like hitting with like the hard details.
I know.
Like,
I do have like some more fun things, I think.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see who's fun and who does what. But going...
You mentioned you have more math.
I have math.
Yeah.
So did you know that there are as many as 52 weeks a year?
I have heard that. That's rumor. That's what Big Calendar wants you to think, so you have to buy a new one every year.
Right. So I was trying to do the math, and I was like, wait a minute. If there's 52 weeks a year, then, there's 2 weekend days for each week.
Yeah.
That means that there are 104 weekend days.
Oh, that seems like so many when you put it that way.
It seems like a lot.
Like I'm genuinely, I know we do a lot of like shtick, but I'm genuinely like surprised by that. That's a lot of days that are just weekend days.
But then
if you indulge like that many days out of a year.
But then if you add in Friday, that's 156 days.
Yeah.
Like if you just look like, it's 3 days. But if you say
I'm
it's
no
150,
mathematician, but that's got to be at more than half.
Well, but here's the thing.
It's not. I'm kidding.
Turns out the math, it just like it has a little glow up because again, a glow up. Math has a glow up.
Yeah.
But like it's the same thing. Oh well, like what percentage of the year does it end up being if it's 104 days out of 366 days? Again, 28%. 28% of your year. 20, not just of your week, but your year that you're going off track.
Yeah.
And we have like 1 extra day this year to go off track.
That gives you an opportunity to do one or the other.
But it's crazy. And that's just if you're like and if you haven't guessed yet, we're talking about the episode now. Like,
Yeah.
this is actually what the episode is about.
Yeah.
But that, like, thinking about things, and I know we talk about, like, oh, one day at a time, and like, oh, every day matters, and it's a journey adventure, but there's no finish line. And sometimes people confuse no finish line with, like, well, if I mess up today,
No urgency to
then
do
there's
anything.
no urgency.
Yeah.
But if you, like, actually pay attention and realize that, like, if you're repeating the same week over and over again, then there's no progress being made at all, because you're just doing that, like, weekday doing great and then weekends maybe not so great. But here's the thing. That's assuming that you are doing well Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
But
there's lots of other, like, opportunities, in air quotes, to not do well.
Right. So there's, like, very many surprising days where you're like, I don't have time. Who could lose weight ever?
Do you have some examples of some
I have
surprising days?
I have, but why don't you start with yours?
Well, okay. So we as humans,
Humans, yes.
as humans,
Earth humans.
there are holidays in the year that are kind of like obviously food based,
Right.
Like in the United States, again, we have listeners around the world. I don't know what all the holidays are.
Should we say maths also a little bit?
Maths, like add an S at the end.
Yeah,
It's
because-
for our British and Australian
Oh,
listeners.
and our listener, remember when we were talking about our listener who
Oh,
we thought
yeah.
was in, guess
Yeah.
what? She was hiding right under our
Yeah,
noses.
she was from Canada.
Canada.
I didn't know. Like, how did I not know Canadians also add U's to color?
See?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, anyway, we did an episode. It was Susan, correct?
Yeah, it was.
And
It
she
was the last two episodes. We talked about Susan, and we tried to guess where she was from. Turns out it's Canada.
She was right
Yeah.
on top of us. It was like a stealth bomber, like right on top of you, and you can't, or like what was
Typical
it?
American coming up with a stealth bomber analogy.
No, but like, wasn't there a Top Gun? He was like, I can't see him, and it was like, I'm right above you. Or, like,
Probably.
I'm calling from
I
right
don't know.
upstairs.
I'm like the one American who really disliked both the Top Gun movies.
I am the other American.
I
who
wish
did not.
I had not seen that second one.
Oh
that's
my
a that's a
gosh.
very unpopular opinion.
was
Like
so bad.
Like I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Like everybody was like, "Oh my god, the new Top Gun is so good," and I'm like, "Really? I guess I'll have to see it." And
Yeah,
then
it was kinda
I
gross.
could barely finish it.
Anyway, but Susan
That's a like a little side
was
ramble.
hiding in plain sight,
Hiding in Canada.
right in Canada.
All right, so I don't know that but we have Thanksgiving, which is obviously food based.
Yes.
Christmas is very food based. Like we have turned the 4th of July here in America
yeah.
into a food based holiday. Easter is very food based, like lots of other things. And then there's like a whole bunch of other like excuses to celebrate food. Like I'm just going to read you quickly. This is just in January. Like in January of 2024, you have Buffet Day,
Okay.
Bean Day,
Uh-huh.
Marzipan Day.
Oh, heck. When is that?
That was January 12th. You've already
missed
missed
it?
Yeah.
Oh, I carry it in my heart every day, though. Okay.
You really do.
Oh, my
Strawberry Ice Cream Day, Bagel and Lox Day, Popcorn Day, Soup Swap Day.
Guess what?
What?
A very happy soup swap day to you.
A very happy
It
soup
is
swap.
Sunday, January 21st is soup swap day.
You knew that already?
I did. It's
So
on my
we
list.
both independently
and, wait,
came
but
up with
hold
this?
on. I was actually the alternate for Bisextile Day
Yeah,
year.
yeah.
It was actually going to be welcome to another very special soup swap day.
Soup Swap Day episode.
Merry soup swap day to you.
And also to you.
But
May
it's
you
like
carry Soup Swap Day in your heart
soup swap.
all of the
Okay,
year.
so I knew today was soup swap day.
So there's also Cheese Lovers Day.
Oh, which is every...
which was yesterday, but
Oh,
that's
okay.
every day for me. Hot Sauce Day, which is tomorrow, January
Oh.
22nd. Chocolate Cake Day and Croissant Day.
Yeah, I knew about croissant day.
And then you're like, okay, January's done. There can't be more. I'm not going to read all the February ones. Just in the first,
These are just the food ones.
the first week of February.
Okay.
Just the first week.
Not even
because I'm not going to
Valentine's
keep
Day.
reading all of them. Not even Valentine's Day. The first week of February has Crepe Day, Eat Ice Cream for Breakfast Day, Carrot Cake Day, Stuffed Mushroom Day, and Chocolate Fondue Day.
That's a lot.
That's a lot in the first week. So basically, you're down to like the only days that aren't really food based are Data Privacy Day and Penguin Awareness Day. Although I do sometimes like to celebrate penguins with food. Like I am aware of penguins as I like eat food to celebrate.
Our friend referred to a penguin as an ice turkey the other
really?
day.
Oh, that's really good.
Friend Dennis.
I like ice turkey a lot.
So we are people who like tradition. We are people who like to honor important days and the sacrifices that chocolate fondue and hot sauces have made in our lives, and we want to celebrate every day. And so we ask ourselves, how can we possibly even consider managing our weight if we're not honoring
and then
these
to stop
holidays?
trying to be like a little bit funny for a second.
Oh, I have more funny things.
You've got like your boss, like, you know, it's somebody's birthday at work and somebody brings in cake or cupcakes or cookies, or someone just brings them in and leaves them and you feel like, well, I can't not have them. They're right there.
That's rude.
Or like your boss like decides to treat the office to a calorie indulgent lunch like on a whatever day, or like an old friend pops in and invites you out to eat something, or you have relatives show up, or you suddenly have to go out of town for something, and like before you know it, you're down to just data privacy day
as the only day of the year,
only day where you can stick to your calorie goal.
All right, I have 2 days to share, and then I'm done with funny.
Okay,
there's nothing
no
funny
more
to
funny.
say.
Some might say we haven't been funny yet.
Which is a growth mindset.
Yeah, it's a growth mindset.
It's coming,
We're
everybody.
working on it. Yeah.
Okay, so interestingly enough, the 25th of this month of January, that we're recording this, is opposite day.
Oh, yeah.
Opposite day will have passed.
I did see that.
I know it's not a food day, but okay. But then guess what? On the 26th, fun at work day.
Oh.
That's the one day of the year that you get to have fun.
The only day where you can enjoy your workplace.
The picture that went along with it was like all of these people kind of in like a cubicle area, like, whoa! Like,
I love that.
Like,
I love that
I'm
so
your boss
much.
and we're going to have fun at work day. Ooh, wouldn't that be like, I don't know what day of the week that falls on, but is it Saturday?
It would be really great if that was a Saturday, your fun at work day.
But the moral of the story is, actually, I don't know if there's a moral. There's no moral. It's just a story that I'm saying. If we add up all of the weekends, which is just like out of the gate, we already know if it's like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday indulgence, that's 156 days out of the year. If we then add in all of the food-based holidays and then our vacation days, and then Taco Tuesday. I mean, that's just like, like you got to do that, and it rhymes, which is great. And then the work lunches, and then the laundry days when you have to do laundry. How could you possibly eat well? Because you've got to like fluff and fold, and which happens first?
For sure.
Do you fold and then fluff? Or
yeah. I think that that's the proper way to do it. Like those people who fluff and then fold, they're psychopaths.
But then, like Donald said, you've got these surprise things that come up. Maybe you're going along and like, oh, I've got my plan already. But then, like you said, the boss on Fun Day brings in Sundays for fun days.
Right.
And all of these surprising days. And then you get home at night and you go, how the world is conspiring against me to ever pay attention to any of those perfect goals that I have.
And I spent years and years with this exact mindset, thinking that the world was out to get me, that the world just like wanted to was conspiring to keep me from losing weight, and was conspiring to like keep me gaining weight. And what we are trying to get to here is that you can't be surprised by everything. You may not know what the surprise is, but you know that there will be one.
Yeah.
And especially things like the weekend coming, that shouldn't be a surprise at all. Like, that's happening. And so what we are trying to get you to do is to actually plan. Because when you fail to plan, you don't have a plan.
That is trademarked, copywritten. That's like Paris Hilton saying, that's hot. Like, Donald, if you fail to plan, then you don't have a plan. Yeah. That's the Donald Weigel motto.
So put plans and policies in place that play into your health and fitness goals, that play into the plan that you're on. Plan to stick to your plan.
Well, and I think too, as we're saying all of these days that come up, like ha ha ha, like hot sauce day, like chortle chortle, laugh laugh laugh. I don't know, but we think about events like the boss bringing in, like, lunch for everyone, or literally this year we've had, I think, 3 different neighbors, and it's only January.
Yeah,
one made us lemon cake, and the other just brought like amazing delicacies from Argentina for
us. We don't like hang out with our neighbors too much in our building, and like suddenly they're bringing us holiday treats.
Delicious.
And January treats, actually, not even holiday
Luckily,
treats.
they've been portioned, so that's been great. But like, it was a big surprise to open the door and have treats presented to us. We think about those as surprises that are hard to navigate, but also the surprises of, oh my gosh, I had to work late. Oh my gosh, our daughter is going through a situation and we're kind of off track. Someone gets sick. There's a family emergency.
Yeah.
There are chronic things of like annoyances that keep coming up, and we act surprised by them. And though we might not know exactly what the surprise or the like shift that is going to happen, we don't know what it's going to be, but acting surprised that surprises come that's not great. I'm going to say it. It's not great, Donald. It's limiting, and acting surprised by surprises.
That's twice you've used harsh language on this.
Well, I already said bisextile.
I know. I didn't even want to like say it again because I was afraid of what I might actually say. But what we are asking you to do is put plans and policies in place that take the guesswork out of things, and they take surprises out of the equation. So you can have policies around time of day or day of the week or portion control, or whether you're in a group or alone, or you can have policies involving frequency or place. And you actually can have a policy. We're not saying take all of the fun. We're not saying like every single time there's a surprise to just, to pout because you can't take part in it. But have a policy in place of like, I don't have unplanned treats. Like it could just be ever. Like if somebody gives me an unplanned treat, I then have to plan for a day where I'm going to like work it into my calorie goal. Or it's like, I know that there's on any given month, there's going to be like 4 of these surprises. I'm going to like pick one of them, and I'm going to pick the best one, like when it comes along, to indulge in. And then when the other 3 come along, I'm going to pass them by.
Well, and I think too, the big idea, and I think Alice Boyce talked about this in her book, which I can't remember.
The Healthy Mind Toolkit.
Yeah. Mindset Toolkit.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
Or is it healthy? Anyway, Donald will put it in the notes. He knows all the things.
I will.
There's a copy, but I'm not going to go get it. We have it close by. But Alice Boyce talks about having sort of backup plans for everything. And when we look at our mindset and when we look at surprises as an opportunity to use our backup plans, or to have like, oh, what good luck. I actually know what to do in situations like this. And having and she has it in the book. It's not like new, exciting, big words, but if this, then that. If the boss treats us to lunch, then I know what I'm going to get, because like, even though this is a surprise, I'll focus on a protein-based meal and not just the most indulgent thing.
Right.
If we get sandwiches for a business meeting, I will get the one that I know, like we order from this place all the time. I know what I can get because there's like 2 or 3 different places we order from. I know what I can get at each because I've already done a little bit of footwork.
Yeah, for sure. Or, something like while you have the energy and you're not starving, you like look at a fast food place that is on your route home from work, and like, okay, I get stuck late at work. I'm going to order the kids meal like from this place because I know that that amount of calories isn't going to go way over what I usually eat. Or, I will keep a lucky, we don't like to call it an emergency meal. I will keep a lucky frozen meal in my freezer at work so that I have something like on hand for if I do, end up staying late, something like that. Or I have something at home that is going to take me, no time or effort to make, but I will still enjoy, that I can just pop into a microwave when I get there so that I don't end up, eating 2,000 calories of Chinese food that night.
Well, and I think as we're looking at the calendar and we look week by week, which is kind of how I work, I have a weekly dashboard that I use with people in Wolt Place. We Only Look Thin Place, our Facebook-based accountability group.
Yeah.
Where I look at the week ahead and look at the potential challenges or atypical things that are coming up, whether it's a meeting or a Zoom or a in-person meeting that might disrupt my week. And I try to plan each day accordingly. So on Wednesdays we have, and this gets back into sort of planning your week, Wednesdays we have a standing appointment in the afternoon. On those days, I don't plan a big meal because I know having something, quick and easy, like a frozen meal, is the way to go on days where I'm not going to say like, oh, well, now I've got to make a big meal and now I'm exhausted and now I can't do it. So now I'm going to get takeout and it's going to be like, I just make it simple by saying like standing order Wednesdays are frozen meals, and then I don't have to worry about it. And then it's not a surprise that I'm exhausted and overworked and don't want to make a big deal.
Yeah, and that's exactly like the kind of thing that we're talking about. Or maybe your issue is that you just are too tired to grocery shop after work on a certain day, or maybe you feel like it's just, too much on a weekend. So maybe you go ahead and you prep a grocery list on one of the online grocery delivery services. At least here in Los Angeles, many of the stores will do grocery delivery. You can have a list that you just, check staples off of and have them delivered at a certain time, have them delivered more often. Or even better, you can, the job that's paying you, you could do it from there on your phone, so you're doing it on company time.
Lunch break.
Don't tell your boss. Don't tell your boss that I told you to do
this.
that.
Donald Weigel, how dare you? You take a little lunch break and you do it.
Or you do the right thing and you take a lunch break.
Oh my gosh! I didn't know I was married to such a bad boy.
You do whatever. You do whatever you think is best in this case. But another thing to do is to actually decide what you're going to eat ahead of time. I know that this is hard for a lot of people, but I give myself a few choices throughout each day, but for the most part, I've pre-decided what I'm going to eat for each meal of the week, ahead of time. And then it really saves me the last minute, well, do I feel like this or do I feel like that? Or I already know what my menu is for that day. And so I can already pre-track it and just eat the food as I eat it.
Well, and designing your week and designing your mindset. Ooh, I hadn't actually thought about designing a mindset.
Yeah.
Of looking at those if this, then that situations. Like we said, if we're going back to the weekends and we end up going over every single weekend, put some design your weekends in such a way. And we've done whole episodes on weekends, and I'm sure we'll do it again in the future, of if you know that you have indulgent weekends and each day is 14% of your week, reduce the number of times you go off track on a weekend.
Yeah.
Instead of indulgences all day, save it to an evening indulgence instead of a whole day of indulgences. So if it's a weekend, then I will save my indulgences for nighttime, just like I do on weekdays. If, and this is just sort of the general category, if there is some I have no time day, which is a surprise, you could be oh, what good luck, because on really busy days, I've got my frozen meal. Oh, on inclement weather days, I've always got this backup plan where I can have DoorDash deliver, but I know that they're going to deliver an individual pizza that fits my goals. Oh, there's a surprising lunch at work. Oh, I can pivot and have a light dinner. I don't need to make what I said I was going to make because I've always got my backup plan of a lower calorie option. Being able to be nimble, like a cat.
I cannot hear the word nimble without thinking of the Jack Be Nimble,
Jack Be Quick.
Be Quick. Yeah, I don't know why that nursery rhyme like pops into my head all the time.
But doing like the I know math takes a lot of brain work. They say. I don't know unless you use a calculator.
Yeah, that's how I do it.
But building that skill and that mindset of being able to pivot when we have a setback or when we have a surprising situation, like, oh, it's National Croissant Day. What good luck. I love croissants. I will say it. I love marzipan. All the days that you mentioned, I'm here for
every
it.
single food day.
There was one food day that I wasn't really, I can't remember what it was. I'll look at it afterward.
Stuffed mushroom day?
No, I like that day. That's a good day.
I don't know.
But
I'm not going to go through them all again.
Like, if it's croissant day and you want to indulge in it and it's like, oh, this is, I have a policy. If it's croissant day, I have a croissant. Like, that's actually a good thing to do. But if you know about yourself that starting the day with a croissant isn't a great idea, save it for after dinner. Have it as a snack in the evening so that you're not starting your day with something that helps you or motivates you to go more off track. So making it easy to keep things in your life, like Taco Tuesday. I want to celebrate Taco Tuesday in my heart every day. But maybe it's we skip the guacamole, we skip the sour cream. Maybe we make it as a salad, a taco salad. It's delicious. How can we keep it on plan while still embracing the season, but not going over every single week for 52 weeks.
Right. And you've talked before about pairing things too, which is another idea where if there's a treat that that if you were to have it all the time, that it maybe leads you to overeat all the time, you maybe save that treat for something that's you don't do all the time. Like every time I get the oil changed in my car, I will have a particular donut. Or every time I get my hair cut, I will have a bagel with whatever I want on it, like that kind of thing. So that you're not forbidding it from yourself. I find that when I try and make something forbidden for myself, then I just want it more and more. But when I know, like, I'm the one making the rules and I have decided, like, these are the days I'm going to have this thing, it makes it so much easier for me to work those treats into my life.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember what the forbidden dance is.
The lambada.
Lambada.
Yeah.
No, is it?
I think the lambada was the forbidden dance, wasn't it?
Forbidden dance.
I think. I don't know. We'll have to look that up afterwards. But, speaking of designing your mindset, a couple of things to keep in mind, that there will be other opportunities to eat food. Like, I think we've illustrated that there are a lot of them throughout the year. So you don't have to eat all of these meals with gusto and relish like it's the last time you're going to have a chance to eat these treats. And eating out can just be eating outside the home. Like, if you get invited to one of these lunches or an unexpected, timeout, like, you don't have to order the most indulgent thing on the menu. You can order something sensible that will fit into your plan a little better.
Well, and I think we also tend to see things as like, when am I going to get this opportunity again?
Yeah. And I think that's a real problem that I've had throughout my life, is like, oh, well, I don't come here that often, so I better get the 6,000 calorie thing that I really want instead of something else.
Yeah, and that
and then I just do that over and over again every time I get invited somewhere.
Well, and if we're looking at and just thinking of the premise of this episode with the 366 surprise opportunities for food, when we think about weight loss, a lot of times, or weight maintenance, there's so many people, and I get caught in this as well, of waiting for the perfect day, the ideal day, the best weather, all conditions are in your favor to do all of the things perfectly. And when we do that, and Donald said at the beginning, if we try to do a Monday through Friday perfectly in these pristine conditions, and we do great, and then the weekend we blow it, and then the next week, well, this isn't a good week to get back on track, because I've got this going on and this going on, and it's just too much, or I'm sick, or somebody's sick. When we wait for that perfect window of opportunity, like Donald said, what is it? Data security day is the day that we can.
Exactly. No, I mean, that seems like a perfectly sobering day in which to not indulge in food.
But when we wait for the perfect day to act perfectly. Maybe that'll happen 2 days a year, 3 days a year, maybe a couple of data, orthodox data, security day, like whatever. You only have a couple of days a year that are perfect. And then you think of the other ones as just throwaway days. This just isn't the year for me. Like, I'm just going to start over. Each day, even with a bit of a challenge or a setback or, an imperfection, we still have time each day to improve the day by not just like tanking immediately because we went off track. And Donald was saying at the beginning before we started recording of not thinking of weight loss or your goals as I need to get an A+ every single day.
Yeah.
Or else. If it's not an A+, then I'm going to give zero effort. And we have an opportunity to even just take back, like, if we can buy back a day a week of making good choices, if we can go from being off track 3 days a week or 4 days a week and reduce that by a day and take back 14%, like, that is a market improvement. If anybody improved their situation by 14%, you'd be like, oh my gosh, a 14% increase in improvement, like, that's amazing.
Yeah, for sure.
It's not about perfection. It's about, like, just get that passing grade.
Yeah, we're not, like, I am a firm believer of, what Catherine just said. You don't need to be A+ all the time, but if you can get yourself to a consistent B-, if you can put in B- work like consistently and throughout the year, and so that your time is averaging out, you really can achieve fitness goals that you want to achieve. Like, that is plenty, and that is a lot more than what most people are doing right now, is to keep B- work going.
Well, and like Donald said, comparing those 1,800 calorie days to then weekends at 3,500 calories a day. You said it averaged to 2,500.
Yeah, 2,500. Yeah.
So if you're if you've got these perfect days and then these super indulgent days, even if you brought that average down to like 2,100 calories or 2,000 calories, it's not about like, oh, well, now I need a 1,500 calorie every single day average. If you're making improvements and stepping that down, you're like, that is success in itself. Looking at it as, how can I make an improvement from where I am right now? How can I buy back some time, buy back some choices? And sure, there are going to be times when we indulge and we just go, you know what, this is a great opportunity. I'm having fun. Like, I'm going to indulge this weekend and do it purposefully. That's fine. But if we can take back, like, we have 366 opportunities, and like, okay, so we're already in the year and some of the days have already passed. But technically, we still have 366 days in front of us, right? So we still have more chances to make choices that we can feel good about.
And I think that the bottom line message here that we're trying to get across is that, like, don't be surprised by everything, because you are an adult capable of making hard choices.
Yeah.
And you can really own those choices. And you are not a powerless victim of circumstance. Like, you are capable of making the choices that are going to get you to the goals that you actually want to achieve.
Well, and when we have, like, that is just such a good, like, that's an amazing point, Donald Weigel Jr.
Why, thank you.
I appreciate it. But when, like, I cannot tell you how good it feels to be presented with a problem and have something in your back pocket that's like, oh, I know what to do in these situations. I don't know, like, I can't predict the exact thing.
Right.
But like, oh, guess what? I twisted my ankle. Like, not that that's a great thing, but you know what? I know I can't do my exercise, like my normal routine right now, but I can do core workouts on the floor.
Right.
What? Like, it feels a lot better to know that than to just be like, oh, this is ruining everything. Like, nothing ever goes my way. Oh, like a big indulgent meal. Well, that's great, because tomorrow I know I can really stick to protein and vegetables and like get right back on track. That feels so much better than saying, well, I guess 2024 isn't my year. It's 2025. Like, that's the thing. Oh, and the Olympics are also this summer. And during the Olympics, we got to do the thing, right?
Yeah,
there's like
that's right. Yeah, of course.
Olympic foods.
The torch themed foods that you have to eat or something?
It's in France this year, right? So you got to eat all the French
all
food.
the French food.
There's crepe day and whatever. And
there was
Bastille
crepe day. Yeah.
Delicious Bastille Day. The Bastille was not delicious. Don't. That's not a food day. Don't do it. But being able to adapt and pivot and see challenges as opportunities to reinforce your habits matters. Because if we think that we just need those perfect days, and if we don't have them, then there's nothing that we can do, that doesn't train, like you're not training yourself to deal with adversity. And the more years come, the more new surprises come our way. We don't even know what they're going to be.
Yeah.
But being able to adapt and pivot, that's where growth comes in. That's where like you're building your mindset and you're building your reserve of energy and like adaptability. And that really matters, especially when you have, how many extra minutes did you say we had this year?
1,440 extra minutes. I'm glad I remembered that because I've already like turned away from that page of notes.
I tried. I was trying to make you.
You would have caught me.
I was trying to make you Biff. I'm not. I'm gonna say I was gonna try to like bust you for not knowing.
This is why spouses make terrible accountability partners, because she was actually trying to trip me up on the air.
Busted.
Thank you so much for listening to this episode. We are really grateful that you have taken the time out, and hopefully you've gotten something out of it. And you can find almost all of our episodes on all of the major podcast platforms. The most recent 300 episodes are all there. And you can find the earlier ones anytime on our website at weonlylookthin.com.
Yep, and if you are at weonlylookthin.com, you can click on that link for Join Our Support Group to find out more about Wolt Place. We Only Look Thin Place is our Facebook-based accountability group for women. We are not a weight loss plan, but we are a place for accountability, check-ins, and like just really candid conversations about challenges and successes that we are having. It is a really super safe community. We've got basically weekly Zoom meetings. There are lots of different subgroups that you can join for different areas of accountability. We have 2 subscription options, a monthly subscription with a 3-day complimentary trial and a 3-month subscription with a 7-day complimentary trial to see if Wolt Place is right for you.
Yeah, so please check it out. And you can also find us on the social medias, as all of the kids like to say. We are on Instagram and Facebook at We Only Look Thin. And you can also type out, if you're so inclined, an email. We still have that capability at weonlylookthin@gmail.com. We like getting episode suggestions. We will answer your questions. And also, if you just want to say hello and give us a compliment, that really means a lot to us. We love hearing that kind of thing. And once again, you can do that to weonlylookthin@gmail.com.
Yep, and if you have a couple of extra minutes and can head over to Apple Podcasts, please leave us a rating and a review. Every 5-star review that we get really helps boost the algorithms that have nothing to do with the Julian calendar, but there are other algorithms. We talk about algorithms. Yeah. It's fine. But it helps others find our podcast when they are looking for inspirational podcasts like ours. And also it really helps boost our mood and lets us know that what we're doing after all of these years, that it is actually still mattering to you. So please head over there and send us a little compliment.
Yeah, that would be really helpful. And also what would really be nice is if you could just tell somebody about the show. Word of mouth really is one of the best ways in which the show grows. People really do, if you personally endorse a podcast like ours, it really does mean a lot to other people. So if you're in a conversation with somebody and it seems to make sense to recommend us, we would be grateful. Or if you're in an online group, a Reddit group, a Discord server, a Facebook group, and it seems appropriate to give us a shout out, that really does help the show grow.
Yep.
So if you are already trying to plan what food you're going to serve on Penguin Awareness Day, please remember that Catherine and I are an inspiration.
Happy Soup Swap Day.
Ice turkeys?
Ice turkeys.
The information that you hear on this podcast is for informational purposes only. The hosts are not medical professionals. You you should always consult with your doctor, nurse, or other certified health professional before beginning any diet or fitness program.